What's going on, guys? This is Pikachu OTC from Simple Trade. Welcome to another weekly review in which I'll be talking about some runners from the past week. Now, the last week was a short week because of the holiday on Friday, so we only traded between Monday to Thursday. Now, during that time, the dollar volume in the market was weaker than the week before, but that's normal, and I expect the following week to be very strong, but that's only my opinion. Now let's get right into it. The first stock that I'll be talking about today is the company ETEK. It is a custodianship stock by Emergent LLC. We already talked about this custodianship with our hidden gem on NUGN stock that we also be talking about a little bit today, because it is the reason that ETEK ran 150% in only 5 days with a very nice volume over here. A lot of volume, a lot of money was traded in that stock in those 5 days, and it was also alerted on our Discord channel right here at the support at the 0015. So if you want to get alerts on the lowest prices almost possible in the OTC and enjoy these kinds of runs, consider join our Simple Trade Discord community. The link is down in the description. A little bit about ETEK. It is a pink current information stock. It has the shell status, and the float of the company is pretty heavy. It is 5.1 billion shares, meaning that you will need a lot of volume to move the stock up and down. And just like you can see on the chart, as the volume pouring in, the stock can go up and go up nicely. On March 30, the company tweeted a word to ETEK shareholders: it's going to be okay. It's 100% normal for buyers to have last-minute commitment issues arising at the least opportune times. You are not being kept in the dark because something is wrong. NUGN had the same situation right before we closed the deal, and they also replied to someone on April 13th, said, "We couldn't settle for a company that is less than interesting. Otherwise, ETEK would have been merged long ago." So we know that Emergent LLC are looking for an interesting company to merge in ETEK and not just some boring OTC company. Now, taking in consideration for all that I've talked about so far, and add to that the insane run that NUGN ran, which I will go to right now, and as you can see, NUGN ran about 2,600% in about 2 months and about 540% in almost a week, and that's due to the reverse merger completed with NUGN and the company that merged into that shell, and the stock price reached 15 cents, which is absolutely amazing, and this rally is absolutely nuts. Remember, we talked about this stock when it was on the penny mark. We talked about NUGN before it even got discovered, before the volume came to the stock back in September, and the patience here absolutely paid. But as you can see here, the last 5 days are very green and very bullish with about 100+%, and that's why ETEK ran as a sympathy to NUGN exactly 5 days, just like we see here. We can see it also here, but this time ETEK ran 150%. Now remember, ETEK float is 5.1 billion and NUGN float is around the 100 million float. This is very big difference. ETEK will not go to the 15-cent area without any kind of reverse split action, but that's probably won't be necessary. And just because it won't get to 15 cents does not mean that it cannot pull off an NUGN kind of rally, because it is very possible that if the merging company will be big, then ETEK could also go on a 1,000 or even 2,000% of a rally, but we'll leave the time to tell that story. And that is it about ETEK. We will move on to the next stock of this weekly review, and that stock is VIZC. Was also covered up multiple times on the channel, but we will talk about what happened on April 12th with the insane volume, the insane 100% of a run, and then 2 days later just absolutely crashed back to its support. So what happened over here? On April 12th, the company so-called uploaded an articles of exchange to the Nevada SOS. Now, articles of exchange is equal to articles of merger because it is acquiring a different company, and in that filing they have acquired a company called Pharma LLC. Now, before I go further, I just want to say that on our Discord channel, the second that filing was out, a warning came in with it by Pennywhale saying that VIZC, I doubt the filing is real, watch out. And we even discussed about this thing later because our experience can tell the difference and can tell when someone is faking an SOS filing and when it's not a fake. Now, let me be clear, just because there is a possibility of a fake filing and only a speculation about the merger, it does not mean that the stock will crash nor won't run, but that means that you should be careful and that you should never chase the stock, because if it is a fake, the fallout will be massive and you don't want to get bagged. So there was a 100% opportunity to make a lot of money on that day, and the reason that the stock crashed 2 days later to the 0010 back to the support, even touched the 0009, is because the filing was indeed a fake filing, and that the merging company, the Pharma LLC company, was also used on another fake filing, another so-called scam to merge with GLCO. That company is not active, it does not have any operating business, and it was all just a big fake. But if you want to know how to make money out of these kind of pumps, and if you want to know how to recognize if it's a fake or not, well, first of all, join our Discord community, because we will give out the alert the second that we find out or even think if a filing is a fake one. And if you want to ride the pump, if you want to know how to make money out of this fake filing, consider taking the OTC Oracle course, as there is a clear pattern about how to recognize these kind of stuff and how to take advantage of them. Now let's move on to the next stock of this weekly review, and that stock is IJJP. At first it might not look that interesting, except two insanely red candles. You can see the stock going from the 0012 all the way up to the 0025, about 100% of a run, and then closing red. And then a couple of weeks later, the same thing happens again, only less of a run. The stock goes all the way up to the 0021 and closes on the 0015 with a great volume of 233 million. And now it is consolidating on the 0013 and 14 area. So let's talk about IJJP and what happened here. 100% of a run and 50% of a run with very nice liquidity overall. So first of all, IJJP is a pink current information stock. Its float is about 1.6 billion shares, so very nice float. There is absolutely no dilution, and on March 23rd, the company issued an LOI to acquire 51% of Montech Incorporation, MNTCH, and Montech will operate as a subsidiary within IJJ Corp. The founder and chief technology officer will maintain management control on the daily operation, and it will be added to the board members. Now, on that press release, on that LOI, they also added, we are preparing an offer for the second board member. So that board member might not be from that Montech acquisition. So that is something to keep your eyes out for. They also added some more updates, as you can see right now, which sounds very promising. They're talking about more funding, contracts, they're talking about some tokens, the metaverse, the Web3, some blockchain technology, and they added that they will continue to post on the Twitter and LinkedIn posts to provide news releases on material events, task projections, and any discoveries as they occur. So that right here, that LOI was this massive volume, 375 million of a volume. The stock went up 100% and closed red, and that is probably because there was a lot of profit taking. The stock was loaded for quite some time over here, and that is also just an LOI. It was not a closed agreement, but after that the stock was loaded once again on this area, and right here on April 11th company closed that acquisition and published another PR saying that Montech Software Studio definite acquisition agreement with IJJ Corp is official as of April 8th. We are excited about the future and anticipate news weekly as the union unfolds. This is very good news right here. They anticipate news weekly, meaning every week they will publish some news regarding the company, and that is what you want in an OTC company, a full transparency and full updates every week. So IJJP story is only just beginning right now. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the future, and now we'll move on to the next stock of this weekly review, and that stock is GEGI. The stock ran about 56 to 60% in about 2 days, but gapped up massively to the 0021 right here. Very big volume, 94 million volume over here, and then the stock started to drop its price. Now let's understand what happened over here. So on April 8th, pre-market on Nevada SOS, there was an update about the officers of the company, and the CEO of the company was replaced with someone named Braden Jones. Now usually when a CEO is replaced, we are talking about change of control and possibly new business and possibly even a new merger. So based on that CEO replacement and some speculation that started to rise, the stock gapped up to the 0021, went up a little bit and then closed red. Probably that was about profit taking from all of the loading that was about 2 months prior to that change, and you can see more volume coming in as the days goes by. And on April 11th right here, the company issued a press release saying that GEGI settles judgment with debtor to dissolve court order, and that they announced that a private investor along with the company have negotiated with the former debtor of the company to settle their dispute with the company. The dissolution of this court order means that we can now use our stock to look for exciting and new business ventures that can bring greater shareholder value to our shareholders. In addition to that debt structure, Katharina Banson, which is the former CEO, announced her registration as chairwoman, CEO, CFO, and any other position of the company. And the company has appointed Braden Jones as the new chairman, CEO, and CFO of the company. And some background about Mr. Jones: he has over 15 years of experience in the logistics and transportation industry, recently owning and operating a trucking and transportation company. And finally, the company plans to provide more news in the markets and its shareholders in the near future regarding an updated business plan it hopes to execute on. So there it is, guys, a fresh story, a fresh CEO with 15 years of experience. The float of GEGI is very good, only 1 billion shares, so it can go with not so much of a volume. There is no dilution to the stock, and as we speak it is getting loaded, and you can see that on the chart and on the level 2 action. So keep your eyes out for GEGI, because we still don't know what this new business is going to be, and it could be very interesting. And that was it about this weekly review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the future videos. If you are not on our Simple Trade Discord community, make sure to go to the description and join us right now, because we alert everything from the real to the fake, from the weakest to the strongest. We talk about everything, and we bring 100% of the value, and it is all 100% free. So go and join our community. That was it, guys. I wish you all a green and a profitable week.